outward view, as many maidens would be.
Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of LB and DAPS, man, coming at you. Going to talk about the United game, the derby. Going to speak about this weekend, the top four race, anything basically that is pertinent to Manchester City. How you doing, bro?
Not
good,
the
man?
Champions League, then. We ain't going to talk about that.
I mean, unfortunately not, given the fact we got knocked out in the playoff round.
Fuck's sake. Well, literally, we at this point, I don't know if we can talk about the Champions League as far as this season or next, for fuck's sake.
I know. It's not looking good, man, at the moment, mate. Like, we are now outside the top five, obviously. So as it stands, Manchester City will be playing Europa League football next year. We've got 7 games left. Newcastle are flying. 4 wins on the last 5. Chelsea are doing a lot better than us as well. 3 wins, a draw, and 1 loss. Villa are flying. They're up our ass. We have, I mean, in the race for the top 5, we have the worst form right now. It's looking kind of bleak, mate, at the moment. We got to pick up our game starting this Saturday. We can't afford any drop points, mate, against Palace. We really can't.
Oh, we couldn't afford, in my opinion, like dropping away from the fact it's a derby and the fact that it's the shittest United team we've seen in Premier League history, and the fact that they beat us at Argos this season, right? So away from all the pride, I don't think we could have dropped. Dropping a point against them at the weekend was not acceptable for me. Like, and I don't know about you, but at times it felt like we were playing for a fucking draw.
Well, a lot of people were saying that to me after the game. They said, "LB, we played for a draw," and I'm like, "We couldn't have played for a draw. A draw's not a good result, man. I'm with you. I think the draw was a poor result. I don't think going there and getting a point is a good result.
You see, last 10 minutes we were trying to run the ball into the fucking corner. I don't know if maybe Pep just thought, you know what, PTSD. Once it got to the last 10-15 minutes, a draw's better than losing. Because, by the way, although I think maybe possession-wise, maybe we edged it, I think they look more threatening than us.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, they should have won. They had the better chances. People asking about your mic. I don't think it's. Is your mic the right mic, bro? People are saying the mic's the wrong mic.
It might not be. This mic. Do I sound like an airplane pilot?
I don't know, chat. Does he sound like an airplane pilot or what? What do you reckon he sounds like?
Hold on, let me have a look.
Can you say seatbelt signs are on?
Seatbelt signs are on.
What do you reckon, chat? Does he sound like a pilot or nah?
Cruising at 10,000. I sound way too uneducated.
You're taking us to Kazakhstan, bro, or are you taking us to Barcelona? That's what we want to know.
Kazakhstan.
You know what I'm saying? It could be that.
No, this is the main thing. Do you know the way I've summed this up, right? The weekend. Sorry, hopefully I'll move downstairs to my main setup in a bit. It should be all right. Hopefully it's all right. Let us know if it's absolutely shit. I'll switch onto my webcam, but I don't know if that'll be any better. So, you monitor it in the comments. But the way I see this, LB, is there are people like me, Steve, Martin, Tony. I am referring to as the Man City unks, right? We're the unks off the pitch, yeah? And all we want to do, and all we're trying to do is protect Pep and back Pep and back the unks on the pitch, right? At this point, it's fucking difficult. Even Foden trying to it's getting difficult, bro. It's getting to the point where am I going to be called toxic and negative soon? Because I don't know how you can defend certain things going on at the moment.
Well, you just have to stay as it is, man. There's no point in fucking lying. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like when it comes to Foden's been poor all season. He had a good January, right? Which we all agree. He did have a good January. But other than that, he's been poor. But everyone's been poor.
By the way, he had a good January. Not a very good January. Just all right.
Yeah, good. He just had a good January. Yeah. It's good. You know what I mean? So, yeah, at the end of the day, like, you just have to say it as it is. And I don't know, man. Like, did we play for a point at Old Trafford? I mean, maybe. I mean, at the time when people was telling me, I was like, nah, I didn't. But the more I think about it and the more I watch the highlights, like, obviously it's not a lot, but like the more I look at our lack of chances back on the replays, I'm like, I think we did play. And like, you listen to what Pep said after the game. You listen to what like Ruben Diaz was saying, like proud of the performance and shit like that. And I'm like, I think they did. I think they did play for a point. And listen, they've obviously done the maths and they've obviously looked at our fixtures and gone, a point is a good point. But I don't think it is a good point personally, because I'd be I don't think it is, man. We got Palace coming
Nah.
up on Saturday with a 12:30 kickoff. Wouldn't surprise me if we drop points there. Then we got
Do you know what?
Everton away, tough game, and then we got Villa at home.
And then when you look at people, I hear people say stuff like, "Oh, Villa have got a difficult run." Cool, Villa have got a difficult run, right? However, based on Villa's form, is it a difficult run? Because surely you have to base how difficult someone's run is. And if we're saying Villa's run is difficult, then you could look at our run and go, our run's difficult then, right? You can't say, right, for Villa, we're going to talk Villa in their worst form, but then City talk Villa City of 2023 and go, yeah, these next 8 games we're going to win them all, because that's basing it on 2023. We played up until that United game, right? Maybe up until the Brighton game, I was saying, look, since we brought the players in, we've lost to Arsenal, we've lost to Liverpool, we've lost to Real Madrid, we've lost to Forest, yeah. 4 teams that are above us. And that still is the point, right? But drawing points to Manchester United is not acceptable. If we're drawing to Manchester United, then we can't presume we're going to beat Villa at home, right? If we're drawing to Man United, we can't presume that we're going to beat Bournemouth at home, right? These are games that we can no longer presume we're going to win. I think we've got Fulham at home as well, haven't we? We can't presume we're going to win that if we're drawing to Manchester United away from home. And the key to it is, for me, is Pep.
Yeah, not 100%, man. I mean, let's have a look at the fixtures here. So this is fucking hell. I was going to call it the title running then. Jesus, my bad. Okay, so this is the race for the Champions League. So there's obviously 5 teams in it. You know, this is what Sky have chosen. So you look at this weekend, right? And to be honest with you, we've probably got the hardest game.
What,
I mean,
the hardest game being Villa at home?
No, being Palace at home this week.
This weekend, yeah. I think, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I hear what people are saying about Palace. I think we win that game. But...
Okay, but you agree we've got the hardest fixture out of those?
Everton.
If it was Everton away, I'd say Everton away was harder. But Everton,
yeah, bro, fucking hell, yeah, all of them, yeah, we have, yeah.
Right. Then the week after, obviously Newcastle had that game in hand against Palace. Then the week after, it's a tough one. We need to be winning at Everton away, because if you look at the fixtures,
I don't think we win that.
So look at the Villa. Villa have got Newcastle, obviously. So Newcastle got Villa. So someone's dropping points, maybe both of them. So we have to win to capitalise on that. Chelsea going to Fulham, which is a difficult place. They obviously just beat Liverpool. And Forest, as shit as Spurs are, maybe Spurs do something. Unlikely, but we've got there, for me, the easiest game. Possibly, maybe Fulham away. I don't know what that could
But if that's our easiest game, if the week that our easiest game is Everton away, then that, look, when we're talking about the first week and we're going, who's got the easiest game, right? Or who's got the most difficult, it's us, yeah?
Yeah.
Then you go to who's got the easiest game. Our easiest game is Everton away. Everton away at the moment, it's not an easy game.
No, it's not an easy game, especially with the fact they're moving out of that stadium. Then we've got Villa at home.
We draw that at best.
Wow.
To be honest with you, I think Everton away, we draw at best.
What about Villa at home?
Villa at home, the home advantage.
That's a big week for them as well, Daps, because they play PSG, Newcastle, then they play City. Yeah. In the space of 7 days, they play PSG, Newcastle, City. So we might play them. We might get lucky. We might get lucky and play them at a good time. And obviously, they might be fucked by the time we play them. That's what we got to hope. We got to hope that they're knackered, man.
Do you know what? It's one of them ones where we just need to get to maybe second. And because once that last bit, Wolves home, Southampton away, Bournemouth home, Fulham away, last game of the season is not fucking ideal neither, by the way.
No,
I didn't realise Fulham was away. Yeah, that's... Bro, this is what I'm saying. How Pep has looked at that and said, yeah, draw at Old Trafford's fine. A draw at Old Trafford, and again, removing the fact it's our derby rivals and Manchester pride, I think that Old Trafford, going to Old Trafford and getting 3 points is a lot easier than going to Fulham and getting 3 points, a lot easier than beating Villa at home, a lot easier than going to Everton and getting 3 points. Not looking good, Bev.
Yeah, I don't know about you, right? But I'm saying I think City needs 66 points. I think 66 points gets you Champions League. I don't know if you've done the numbers and you've got your own number, but 66 points. So what are we on now? We're on 52, are we? Yeah, we're on 52. So by my calculations, we need 14 points in 7 games. So what's that, chat? 3, 6, 9, 12. So we need 4 wins, 2 draws out of the final 7. 4 wins, 2 draws.
I think the thing is as well, like I've seen,
Surely we can do that, man.
I see people saying things like Forest aren't looking great at the moment. Forest haven't looked that great all season, but they're
Yeah,
getting
but Forest are what, 4 points ahead of us, 6
yeah,
points
yeah.
ahead of us,
And
whatever
my
it's
whole
5.
thing now is, by the way, we just forget looking at Forest and we concentrate on 4th or 5th. People saying Villa run out of gas. I hear you, but Villa's squad's not as bad as Villa's squad's pretty fucking good.
Who
Man.
said that?
So someone in the comments said Villa run out of gas.
They've won 4 out of the last 5.
Yeah, they're in unreal form.
Oh, he's saying he thinks they will run out of
Yeah,
gas.
yeah, he thinks
Oh,
they
my
will.
bad. I thought he
But
said he never
I
will.
think with their squads, I don't know, man. I think there is relevance that they look if they play well, if they get a result in the first leg against PSG, they're definitely going to put a strong team out in the second leg.
Yeah, and then they play Newcastle.
Yeah.
In which case, to be honest with you, though, we're in a fucked situation where we might need Villa to beat Newcastle.
Yeah.
To take points off of them, especially if we drop points off at Everton.
Yeah.
Because I don't think too many people are confident about that Everton game. So we might be in a situation where actually we need Villa to win against Newcastle in that game. Because Newcastle, if Newcastle beat United and Palace, which I think they will, I think Newcastle win those next 2 games. We're going to be in a fucking weird situation where we need Villa to win.
Well, bro, Newcastle's next 2, they've got Man United at home. They're winning that. I see someone saying we're going to finish 3rd. So I thought at one point we were going to finish 3rd, but I think the Brighton result and the Man United result to me just are like nah. And do you know? Let's move away from the results for a second.
Yeah.
Let's forget because we're looking at games and we're talking about what games we can win and what games we can lose. Well, the bigger concern of looking at who we're playing is ourselves and the lineup that Pep's going to put out. That's a bigger concern to me than because off the back of the Leicester game, I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to beat United, but then the lineup just is just baffling in apart from the centre back pairing.
Yeah.
There's not and Marmoush. Well, Marmoush starting, but again, where Marmoush started was
not as a striker.
Well.
That was baffling to me. That
everything was just like not even based on who's in form for us, who's playing well. Based on the team we're playing, it didn't make sense as well. Based on the fact that we're playing against a team that we all know have wing-backs, full-backs playing as wing-backs and aren't very competent there, and we decide to play no wingers and we decide to not pin them back. Everything about it was baffling. That's why it's so difficult for me to defend Pep the way I want to. That at the moment, all I'm falling back. Literally, my defense of Pep now is, look here. First season, he was very stubborn. In the summer, he got what he wanted. Second season, we got 100 points. That's my only defense of Pep now is let's give Pep the same energy we gave him first season, knowing that second season what's going to happen, that hopefully he's showing this weird like confidence in these old players, but in the summer a lot of them are going to go and then that will go and start again.
Can I ask you a question? Where are you at with I hear a lot of people saying we can't let them all go, all the old guys, because then we won't have any experience. My personal opinion is if they're not good enough, I don't care how old they are, what experience they have, because we need players that need to be good enough to play. Where are you on that sort of debate of the like letting Gundogan, Bernardo, Kev, Kovacic's go? Are you with me that just let them all go because they ain't good enough, or are you sort of saying you can't let them all go because you need the experience?
At the moment, I was the other way, that we can't let them all go. But where I am now, I'm kind of right. So where I am for the rest of this season is I don't mind seeing Gundogan on the pitch, or I don't mind seeing Bernardo on the pitch, or I don't mind seeing Kev on the pitch. And I'm putting Foden in there as well. I know he's not old, but Foden, ultimately, he's part of the old guard. Kovacic, all of that old guard. I don't mind seeing one or two of them on the pitch. Seeing all 5 of them on the pitch to me is absolutely insane, right? And the Gundogan one, we before the derby, we would have said, right, Gundogan's played the last 2 games. De Bruyne's been rested. Kovacic has been rested. Certain players have been rested. How is Gundogan still starting alongside all of them, right? Because Gundogan, Pep saw Gundogan have 2 good games and completely forgot that if you play Gundogan too many times, his legs go. And the other thing where I am with, and this is what's making me swing towards the way you're thinking now, is when I look at it, right, what are players playing for at this point? I mean, because most of them have experienced everything they can at City, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've got nothing. And when I say playing for, I mean, what are they excited about? They ain't excited about a run for Champions League football.
Nope.
They get excited by a title charge, not a run for
Mm-hmm.
Champions League football, right? It's to the point where I've always been now, I don't want to get Champions League football finishing fifth. Even me as a fan, I'm now like, fuck it, I'll take fifth if that means we get Champions League football. So these as players, furthermore, a lot of them, there's a good chance they're not going to be here for the Champions League next season, so why would they care? I actually think it's now at a point where not many of these players are playing, and this is the thing, like, even if you look at Grealish is playing for something at the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grealish is not close to retirement. Like, if you go through it, we know De Bruyne's going, and so De Bruyne is probably playing a bit out of pride because it's his last season and the legacy.
And he loves the club. He doesn't want the club not to be in the top four. Yeah.
And I think that's probably relevant with all of them. I think most of them not love the club. Maybe not Kovacic so much, but I think Ilkay and Bernardo the same. But I think Bernardo, for me, I've seen that he said he wants to stay. Bernardo, I believe, is just trying to run down his contract so Benfica can get him on a free.
Yeah, they go next year on a free.
He just wants to go back to Benfica on a free. So that's what he's looking forward to. I think Gundogan is probably hoping that Fenerbahce come in for him in the summer and he gets to go and have his last season of his career in Turkey where he loves.
Mm-hmm.
That's what all of these lot they're not playing. Whereas you look at Doku, you look at Savio, you look at Grealish as an example, they've all still got something to play for.
Yeah.
And as for Foden, I think Foden, for me, he don't know what he's doing. He just wants to get his head right.
He needs to be fucking sent to Dubai, bro, and just said, have a holiday for 2 months and come back in 2 months because he needs. I don't know what it is, but there's no point in him playing at the moment because he doesn't bring anything to the table. That's just the truth.
And furthermore, we said it on Friday about playing him into form, right? That you can't play a player into form when the team aren't in form. But where it's got with Foden now is like that game on Sunday has gone the opposite way, right? You bring on Phil Foden as a sub in the 70th minute, he ends the game, right? He gets to end the game, and it is what it is. You start him and you sub him off when he hasn't impacted the game after 65 minutes. What's that doing for his confidence? It's making it even worse. So starting him, and I kind of think the same with De Bruyne, because De Bruyne didn't look happy at the end of that game. De Bruyne actually, he had all the fans cheering him. He had United players coming over and telling him how much of an amazing player he is. De Bruyne looked pissed off because De Bruyne wanted to impact that game. But
I think you got to remember about De Bruyne as well. He doesn't want to leave. You can see that from his statement, his goodbye statement, when he says we're not happy with it or whatever he said. And then Pep obviously coming out saying it was the club's decision to tell Kev that he's not staying. Kev obviously doesn't want to leave. Kev wants to stay here. So the club have told him he's got to leave. Then he gets played in his final ever Manchester derby as a false nine, which is just not a good position to play Kevin De Bruyne in. And we called it after 10 minutes. This is not reactionary. People who was in my watch along, myself and all the chat, was after 10 minutes, we all said this is a weird position to play Kevin De Bruyne, because what's Kevin De Bruyne's best attributes? Creativity. If he's played as a false nine, what's he not going to be able to do? Create. Why? Because he's the false nine and there's no one else in front of him.
He's also not able to press properly.
He's not. He can't do it. So I think he was probably a little bit annoyed. He's probably just annoyed generally because he doesn't want to leave, and the club have told him he's got to leave, which is a brave move from the football club. Telling our greatest player that, sorry mate, you're not staying, you've got to go.
But it's the right move, by the way, though.
Well, I think time will tell. I think time will tell whether it's the right move. I don't know whether it's the right move or not. I'm not saying it is or not. I don't know. I flip flop on it all the time. Time will tell. Well, I mean, next season we'll find out if it's the right move. If we get Florian Wirtz and he's cooking on gas, he's creating chances for Haaland, he's scoring goals, Foden's back in form. No one's going to be sat there in November, December saying we should have kept De Bruyne.
But if we were to keep De Bruyne, right?
Yep.
Then my biggest worry would be if we keep De Bruyne, then firstly, me as a selfish person, I have to continue to watch one of my legends get worse and worse and worse and worse. And I honestly believe as long as Kevin De Bruyne is at this club, Pep is going to keep going, oh, fuck it. Yeah, you know what? Important games, start De Bruyne. That is what Pep will do. He'll just keep putting blind faith in De Bruyne. And, bro, we saw it. Like, there were moments in that game where De Bruyne was driving with the ball, and you're thinking, all right. And then he unleashes a shot, and the amount of power on it, he just P-rolls it to the keeper. Like, his legs are gone, bro. It's sad to see. That's why, for me, I would even now, what do you think is a better kind of farewell tour? To be starting games and look like that, or to be coming on in the 70th minute and getting the whole stadium give you a round of applause? Because, bro, when we play Palace, when we play Fulham away, when we play most Everton away, when we play these teams, right, when if De Bruyne is being brought on as a sub, the home fans are cheering him. They're giving him a round of applause, right? They are. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So what's better, that, and furthermore, when a game's stretched, De Bruyne's legs won't look as bad, and he can impact games. I think we should be. I think at this point now, like, that's the biggest frustration to me. Is we just keep going with the same things and the same things that aren't.
I know. Well, that's. I think that's Pep, though, isn't it? Pep is just. He does that. You know what I mean? Pep is playing these players who are not good enough. Because, and they're not good enough because they're old. They're not shit footballers.
No.
Kevin De Bruyne's not a shit footballer. Gundogan's not a shit footballer. Bernardo's not in Kovacic. These are good players. They've not got the legs for it anymore. Yeah. And we all know that football in the Premier League is becoming a lot more about like pace and power and strength. It's going back a little bit. It's not the tiki-taka that everyone was playing 5 years ago. Everyone's sort of like going for these strong. I mean, look at Baleba, at Brighton. You know what I mean? We had absolutely no chance with him. So, yeah, that's the frustrating thing is that, we've got these players who are old, and we've been crying out for. I've been crying out for players like Nico O'Reilly for 6 months. 6 months I've been crying out for Nico O'Reilly to get in this team, and he finally gets in the team and he starts playing okay. We need to refresh the thing. And I get it. Listen, Pep's not going to throw these older players under the bus, and I get that because they brought him so much success. But that team that he played at Old Trafford, not starting Nico Gonzalez for me is absolutely ridiculous. It's a ridiculous decision.
When you look at it, yeah, our last 3 games, we had Bournemouth away, right?
Yeah.
Difficult game. We had Leicester at home, piss easy game, and we had Man United away, which out of the 3 is also quite a difficult game, yeah? So, which one do you need fucking legs in midfield for? Bournemouth and Man United, not fucking Leicester at home. Right, but Gonzalez got the start. Leicester at home. He didn't get the start on the other 2.
Yeah,
that for me is mind-boggling. And this is the thing. With the old guard, Pep's not helping them with them. Yeah, if you start, we saw it against Bournemouth. We saw it against Leicester. Gundogan started both of those games, but had legs round him. Right, had Gonzalez. But if you start a load of old players, that's not helping them because none of them can rely on each other's legs because all their legs are gone. So this is the thing. I'm not mad at seeing Gundogan start a game, Bernardo start a game. It's starting all of them at the same time. It's just suicide. It's suicidal. And what was I going to say a second ago? No, come back to me.
Yeah, Nico G and Gundogan did play together in that game. I'm pretty sure, Karl. Yeah, you are right. I don't get what's going on there with Nico G. It's weird.
I actually think Gonzalez with Kovacic, Gonzalez with Gundogan, Gonzalez with Bernardo, Gonzalez with KDB. Any of that can work. It's then that you're then putting in another old player next to him and another old player on the left or another old player on the right. And then all of a sudden it's mad. And this is a thing where it's difficult to defend Pep. Like, what is this? Is this just blind, like...
It's weird, isn't it? It's very, very strange. Let me come to some of these super chats, man. Big up to you guys in the chat, man. Make sure you guys are smashing up the likes if you've not done so already. Nearly 400 people locked in. Let's get these likes up, guys. Come on, man. 150 likes. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Subscribe to We Are the South Stand as well for daily morning shows on that channel as well. Big up to LB. Says, LB, there ain't no way we are winning Everton away. Well, listen, I think Everton away is more difficult than Man United away, in my personal opinion, right now. This is why I struggle to believe that the club think it was a good point against Man United. But that's the sort of vibe that we're getting, that they think it is a good point. And again, time will tell. If we get top 4, and we get top 5, then it's a good point because we got it. But if we get to the end of the season and we miss out on the Champions League by a point or two, people like me and people who agree with me that wasn't a good point will be saying, why the fuck did they say it was a good point?
Yeah.
Why was fucking Diaz coming out after the game saying they were proud of their performance? Why were they all fucking happy and hugging each other, like celebrating it's a fucking point that's a good point? I don't know. Like, everyone's got their own opinions, right? And some people are saying that it is a good point, but I don't, because I think that Palace at home is going to be tough on Saturday. I think Everton away is going to be tough. I don't see a world in which we beat Villa. So my next 3 games, it wouldn't surprise me, basically, cut a long story short, if we don't get a win in the next 3. Because I think they're all fucking
when you look at those next 3, they're difficult. I think, the one thing that, when we're talking about, I said before about what players are playing for and what players are getting excited for, Diaz and Vardiol, I can understand why they might be quite happy. Diaz and Vardiol's centre-back partnership have conceded no goals in 225 minutes of football, right? So Diaz and Vardiol are doing their job at the moment, yeah? And so I can understand why Diaz and Vardiol might be quite happy with that performance from them at the weekend.
Yeah.
Because, and they're also thinking, probably to Diaz is thinking, at last, it looks like Pep is giving me a partner again. It's not going to keep chopping and changing.
Which
so
he needs, He needs that, bro.
He does.
Yeah. Maybe that's what he's speaking about, but he didn't necessarily talk about the defence. That's the only reason I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Shout out Craig as well, man. Go enjoy the weather, bro. Go enjoy the weather. Shout out to Trexia, man, with a 2 months membership. Says, yes, lads. Can this season end tomorrow? It's not looking good, bro. But if we win the FA Cup and finish top 5, then considering where we've been this year, I'll take that as a bit of a W, to be honest with you, mate. But yeah, hopefully you and the fam are good. Big up to LB again. Said, should I quantum leap into Maya Jammer's DMs? No, because Diaz actually played quite well. So we don't want to risk fucking anything going wrong there. So no, stay out of Maya Jammer's DMs.
I mean,
Diaz had a good game.
You should be in. I mean, is it wrong for any of us to be in Maya Jammer's DMs, to be fair?
No, because Diaz is actually playing fucking well now, so we don't want him to.
Don't piss him off, right?
Yeah. We don't know. LB might be, you know what I mean. The guy, he might be able to, you know what I mean, get my Jammer to finish Diaz and get with this guy. So no, stay away from the DMs, man. He's playing well. Shout out to Lee. Says, I feel like the club must have a Pep replacement. Must be Pep. Why would the club have a Pep replacement?
No, have a replacement. He didn't mean to put the spice.
That space there was it put me over. Right, let me read that again. I feel like the club must have a replacement lined up if they are telling Kev to go. I said this as well, but then people started telling me that LB, you said that about Vincent Kompany and we didn't sign a replacement. LB, you said that about Aguero and we didn't sign a replacement. So, Lee, I agree with you. I think they probably do. However, as City fans rightly pointed out to me, we didn't have one lined up for Kompany and we didn't have one lined up for Aguero. Well, we did. We just didn't get them.
I mean, I was on the show this morning. The Aussie lot, so Alan, Pat, and Nick, all thought that. Fucking hell, it's gone again. What was it? Fuck me. I keep forgetting stuff. That they'll think that we get Verts even if we don't have Champions League football.
Okay, so I had this debate on the panel show the other day.
I don't think so. But...
Okay, so the panel show that I did after the game on Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was, it was quite split.
Yeah.
I think Verts, big up to Lee as well for the super chat, man. I think Verts, well, first of all, Verts has still not signed a contract.
Yeah.
Right. And Leverkusen have offered him a new contract with a release clause next year. That is a pretty good contract for him to sign. The fact he's not signed that tells me that he probably wants to leave. Now, we all know, and I think we all agree, most people agree, that Verts probably wants to go Bayern over City. That's what we're being told by a lot of the journalists. That's the sort of rumours that are coming out. However, in the last couple of weeks, we have heard that maybe Verts is now open to joining Manchester City. So, I was sort of on the sort of train with Lee, saying, surely they don't tell Kevin De Bruyne, you are leaving the football club, unless they have a replacement lined up. And obviously, there's only a couple in the world that we can go for. Musiala, who's just signed a new contract, and Florian Wirtz. So then it comes down to the question of, maybe Wirtz has said, would Wirtz agree to join Man City if we're not in the Champions League? Now, my point on this, DAPS, to answer your question, is Florian Wirtz now is about to choose a football club that he's going to play for, probably for the next 5 or 6 years minimum, at least 4 years, right, minimum. And this move will probably determine how high as a footballer he goes, right? Because it's so important. He's only 22. He needs to be playing football that can let him thrive, right? I don't think, if he comes to the decision that Manchester City is the best club for him to do that, I don't believe that 1 year out of the Champions League, where this club has been in that Champions League successfully the last decade, I don't think he's going to go, City not in the Champions League, I'm not going for 1 year, especially when we just spent 175 in January, and we're probably going to be spending another 300. And they're going to go to Wirtz and say, listen, we're not in the Champions League this year, but we'll be in it next year. We're going to challenge for the title because you're coming. We're going to sign Baleba. We're going to sign Camavinga, Baleba, whoever it is, but Wharton. We're going to sign a new right back, 2 right backs. We're signing a new goalkeeper. We're going to go and sign a wing. I don't think that decision from Wirtz will be... I don't think it comes down to whether or not City are in the Champions League. If he thinks City are the best place to play his football.
Yeah, I hear it.
But I also accept that not being in the Champions League 100% doesn't help our cause, right? I'm not sitting here saying, no way, City not being in the Champions League won't have any impact. It obviously will have an impact. I just don't know if it'll have the impact where we'll say no.
Yeah, I think look, none of us know. I see people in the comments are saying he's going Bayern. I think we have to remember that the club have a big say in this. Leverkusen have a very big say in this, and Leverkusen would ideally not want to sell him to Bayern. And as for why would he join City, look, we're not all of a sudden Man United, right? We're not all of a sudden shit. We are still a team that's just done a 4-peat recently. Like, we're still a very big club. We haven't fallen off the face of the earth. So I think, and the key is, like, if we're going to do why would he join City, then we might as well just rewind all the way back to if Yaya Toure and David Silva and Sergio Aguero joined City before we'd won a league, then Wirtz would join City based on the fact of how big we are compared to how big we were back then. So I don't think we can. I'll tell
you something as well, though, right? You want to talk about Wirtz, right? You want to talk about being in the Champions League versus being in the Europa League. If City are in the Europa League, it'll make it harder to sign Wirtz. Maybe having Kevin De Bruyne at the football club will make it more hard to sign Wirtz, because if you've got Kevin De Bruyne and you've got Foden, Wirtz might sit there and go, "Hang on a minute, you've still got Kevin De Bruyne, you've still got Foden." Well, there will be times where I might be benched for these two guys.
I've got to say to you and anyone else that's saying, if we're getting rid of De Bruyne, we must have a lineup, a replacement. I'm going to call you LB, and I'm going to call anyone else saying it Pep Guardiola, because, like, what we do you want to keep? Why do you want to keep Kevin De Bruyne? Do you think Kevin De Bruyne has impacted games this season?
Okay, so my point on keeping De Bruyne, and I'm not saying I'd keep De Bruyne, right? Because I don't know. I keep flip-flopping. My thoughts are, next year, when you've got Rodri back in the team, you've got a new all-round midfielder who can actually run, and you take the necessity for Kevin De Bruyne to do that physical work, could he end up cooking? Potentially. But I'm not sitting here saying it's the wrong decision. I don't know if it's the wrong decision. Time will tell. I don't know whether I've kept him or not. I don't know.
I do what you're saying. Maybe.
I think it's a mad hard decision to make.
Yeah.
Some people are saying it's easy. I don't know. I don't think it's an easy decision to say whether or not keep De Bruyne.
I guess if you're looking at Bernardo, KDB, Gundogan, Kovacic, and saying, right, which one of them 4 do you want to keep? I can understand maybe why there you'd go, we'll keep Kev, because we still think Kev can have a bit of an impact. But you also have to look at the realistic things. And the realistic things is, I can't see anyone buying Bernardo Silva now. I think anyone that, like, Bernardo Silva's stocks have dropped massively since, in the last 2 seasons.
Surely you could get good 20 million out of him from Benfica. He's only 30.
Oh, I think, I'll be honest. Right, but Benfica probably want Bernardo.
Yeah.
Probably want to keep Bernardo. Probably want Bernardo just to end his career there. It's probably not that much to do with what he's going to do on the pitch. It's a bit of a legacy thing, right? So I think they'd wait a season and get him on a free rather than pay 20 million.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they have a lot of money, Benfica. They have a lot of money in the bank.
Yeah, and Daps, weren't you talking about not ruining KDB's legacy? Yeah, I think keeping him a further season is ruining his. Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Right now, we are ruining his legacy. Yeah, and it will. Now that we've announced, now that we have announced that he's going, right, even if he's bad until the end of the season, no one's really going to slander him too much because everyone goes, do you know what? Yeah, he's leaving. It is what it is. Let's give him a farewell, right? If we keep him for a further season, it'll be Carl Walker all over again. I'm telling you, bro. Listen,
potentially, you are right. It's certainly potential.
We're seeing people turning on Pep Guardiola, right?
Yeah.
If we're seeing people turn on Pep Guardiola after one season, and furthermore with what's going on with him off the pitch, you can't tell me that. And I'm not saying most City fans will, but a large enough amount of City fans will turn on Kevin De Bruyne next season if he doesn't go.
Probably, yeah.
100%. So my whole thing is like secure his legacy.
And I 100% hear that. But at the same time, the flip side to that is put Kevin De Bruyne in a better team next year, which we will be a better team next year, and he could cook. But that's the risk you got to take. I think it's a difficult one, man. I'm not sitting here saying the club have made the wrong decision. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a fucking brave decision. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's a brave call. It's a brave decision from the football club, and time will tell whether that's the correct decision. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the wrong decision or the right decision because I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have melted if I was a sporting director. Shout out to Nazza says, reckon Pep is refusing to play Gonzalez because he still thinks that the DM isn't the problem, but the injuries to our centre-backs. Thinks Gundogan and Cole still have it. Listen, I don't know. Surely in the next press conference, one of the journalists has to ask Pep Guardiola why the hell Nico Gonzalez didn't play against Manchester United, because that for me is City fans, we always have debates, we always have discussions, and DAP started the stream by talking about the wingers, etc. We spoke about that midfield, and listen, some people wanted wingers, Doku and Savio. Some people said no, the way that Pep set that sort of going through the middle was the right thing. The Nunes thing at right back, I understand why he played Nunes over Huzanov. I wouldn't have done it, but I understand because he wanted Nunes to push forward. Right, and we can have them debates, right? Some people are always on different side of the coin on that one. But every single City fan in the world, maybe by about one person, agrees that Nico Gonzalez should have played that game against Man United.
I don't know. I think that's my issue with that. My issue with Sunday was just how many things Pep got wrong. The Gonzalez thing, 100% wrong.
Are you on? I feel this question. Are you not on Twitter? Are you on Twitter?
I am, but
you're not really on there. I'll tell you something.
Really.
In my personal opinion, I've never seen Pep be questioned as much in terms of his decision making after a game than what happened against United.
Yeah, definitely.
I've never seen.
I've
never seen as many people question him, and it's hard to sit there and say, "Oh, what he's chatting about," because honestly. It's kind of crazy. It was a madness. Some of the decision making was mad.
The Gonzalez thing, one, right? The overall age of the midfield, two, right? Foden starting 3. For me, no wingers, right? Is insane. Doku, correct me if I'm wrong, but Doku's second. Did Doku come on for the second half of?
Doku came on at around 65 minutes.
No. Minutes. No, I mean first game at the Etihad.
Oh, when we lost. I can't remember. I don't know.
Right. I seem to have a feeling that I think either way, I'm pretty certain Doku was one of our better players in that game. But someone correct me if I'm wrong. Either way, FA Cup final, right? Doku came on and absolutely cooked them. For me, Doku recently has been in good form. Against a Man United team, the only way Doku shouldn't have been on that pitch would be if they decided to play Savio on the left, or if they played Grealish on the left, right? So, other than that, I'm looking at it thinking, why is there no width in this team at all? And again, we're trying to go through the middle, but against Man United, that's not where we've had any sort of luck. But even last season, Grealish and Bernardo, I think, were playing on the left together and overlapping each other and looked good. Just nuts. There was so much in that team that I'm just looking at Pep thinking, I have no idea what you're doing here. You're seeing the whole world different to everyone else. And he's right 100%. To be questioned on that. This is the thing. I don't like Pep outers, right? I think Pep outers are jumping the gun way too soon, right? And when people say Pep has to go and all of that, fuck all of that. But should Pep be questioned? Absolutely, right? And going into next season, he really must be questioned, because if we start seeing the same thing next season, again, it's never a Pep out. It's a maybe Pep and City need to part ways.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Built on Matt, he says Mukasa in the first team next season, good option. Well, apparently City are in contract talks with Mukasa to try and improve his contract. Him and Nico O'Reilly. So yeah, it seems like City are trying to get some contracts done on some of these younger lads just to get them boxed off. I doubt he'll feature much next year, but he's obviously a high prospect player. I've seen him a couple of times. He's pretty decent, to be fair. He's a very good player, strong player, tall player. So we'll see how he gets on. But yeah, he's been killing it this year in the academy. We'll have to see how he plays, man.
Do you know what I could see in the Club World Cup, right? So I heard Pep probably about a month ago. He got asked about the Club World Cup, and he said, "I've already spoke with the club, and we want to win it, but we're gonna try and treat it the best we can as like a holiday for the players." And I think that's probably for him as well. He mentioned about golf courses out there, and this is where I think it's so important to us, because there is relevance to this season being down to burnout of a lot of players, right? The amount
I think so. And the fact that Rodri was the glue to that midfield.
Yeah, I've got the Rodri thing 100%, but I also do think, even with Foden, I think probably the summer wasn't great for Foden. That he had a great season. Then he had the Euros. He had a new kid. Didn't get to spend too much time with his new kid and whatever. If I'm Pep, I'm treating that Club World Cup for himself and for the players. Players like Foden, I would be saying to Foden, yeah, you have to come, because you've got, you have to come out there, but bring your family out with you. And this would not just be to Foden, this would be to a lot of the more senior players that maybe are a bit burnt out. Bring your family with you. You've got to do a few of the, training sessions with cameras there. But apart from that, go out and enjoy time with your family. And this is where in that tournament we need to see Echeverri, we need to see Vitor Hayes, we need to see Bob, we need to see Kuzanov, we need to see a lot of we need to see the new City, and also some of the academy players.
Well, the problem that you've got is I don't know the full rules, DAPS, but apparently City have signed a contract, and all the clubs have signed a contract with the Club World Cup people to say, basically, we will play like the star players. Now, obviously, you must be able to play one or two like younger players, or they can't just be like, you have to play the full first team every single game. Like, you must be able to play like Nico O'Reilly or Mukasa or an Echeverri. But I think maybe most of the players on the football pitch will have to be like first teamers, because that's the contract that they've signed. But here's a question that I asked the chat the other day, and chat, if you wasn't in that stream, then feel free to answer it here in the chat right now, and if you're watching on replay. But if Man City, so basically, right, if you get knocked out in the first stage, you get about 25 to 35 million quid, right? But if you win it, you get $125 million. So if Man City, this is the question, yeah? If City don't qualify for the Champions League this year, i.e. finish sixth, and given the rebuild that we need to do you think that will alter
There's a super chat on it, by the way.
On the what?
There's a super chat on exactly what you're saying.
Club won't let Pep take the Club World Cups pre-season. They're £100 million that we won by. Yeah, exactly. So this is what I'm saying. Yeah. Shout out to Rizzi with the super chat. This is literally the question that I'm asking. Yeah, if City finish in the Champions League, we get the Champions League cash, right? So would you then say, I'll just get knocked out in the group stage or maybe the quarter final, take 35, 50 million quid. But if you don't get Champions League, and therefore you're going to miss out on all that Champions League money, you then might need to take it more serious, because then you need to get the 125 by winning it. Or do you just think the club say, mate, we need to spend 300 to 400 million. You need to win this fucking tournament.
This is where you're right. But at the same time, we need to think that if we go all out, right, and play all our players and don't give them much of a rest, what's the impact on next season?
I think we're cooked, man. I think the start of next season is going to be a bad start.
Yeah. But this is where, right, it's so important that right now, Hugo and Tiki need to be getting business done right now, right? Because if we sign 4 or 5 let's say 4 or 5 players. We need to get them done early doors. We need those 4 or 5 players flying out, yeah, on that Club World Cup. Because then, when you're talking about starters, they can be starters. They're not burnt out. Wharton is not going to be burnt out, as an example, if we get Wharton. We need to bring some of those players out there and let them be the, because if City have signed a contract saying we'll start some of our first team players, well, we can say these are our first team players. This is who's going to be playing next season. I don't know how you really can sign a contract like that. I reckon
it'll be done. I'll tell you how to do it. The contract will be either based off of wages or it'll either be based off of squad appearances this season.
Sorry, there's someone asking if I've got a hair transplant. Not yet. I'm trying to get one for free, like Turkish. Then I'll get a hair transplant.
Oh yeah, I see that Turkish went to Turkey.
Yeah, listen, Turkish said would I?
Faz, I think, got one as well.
Yeah, Faz have. But and the thing Turkish said to me, because Turkish said if anyone wants one, I said I'm 40. Turkish like, if you do, you'd have to blog it. I said I'm 42 years old. Listen, I'm losing my hair. I have to go and see my barber regularly to bring it back to life. So if I had a hair transplant, I'd be shouting about it and getting it for free. But now, I think there's probably been certain names mentioned. I reckon probably Haaland's name has probably been mentioned in that contract. I think Haaland probably has to go.
Well, yeah, but then what about if they're injured? I think it's based off of either the wages or it'll be based off of who played the most games. So like 7 out of the 11 players on the pitch must have been in your top 15 most played players in the Premier League this year. I don't think they can specifically sign a contract to say he's got to play the game, because what about if he's injured? It'll be based off of that sort of situation, man. But yeah, that's going to be crazy. There's a lot of money on the line here, and if we miss out on the Champions League, they are going to have to take it seriously. Now, they might take it seriously anyway because of the fact you get 125 million quid for winning the competition. That's the truth. But I don't know exactly what's. But the problem is we've just got the players have got no time to rest. They've got no time to rest whatsoever. So we've got to.
It's killing us. It is killing us.
We've got to build a bigger squad, man. We've got to build a bigger squad and a better squad that can compete. If we don't sign 6 or 7 new players in the summer, we're going to be cooked at the start of the season because the players will just be fucking knackered, man. They need a rest. Have you seen the way we have like a week or 2 off? Then it's the Club World Cup. Yeah. Then we have a week or 2 off, and then the season starts. I don't know where pre-season is going to go, by the way. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with a pre-season.
Club World Cup has to be pre-season.
Maybe, but then you have a 2-week break. So what do you do in that 2 weeks? Rest. But then you start the season. So then
and guaranteed we're going to have something like Villa away first game of the season.
Yeah, the Premier League could fuck us over big time, man, if they give us like some hard fixtures at the start of the season, because we'll just come into it completely knackered.
You know what? Fucking typical City. We're going to win the FA Cup, so they're in the fucking Charity Shield as well.
Oh shit! Yeah, fucking hell. I just fucked that off, mate. I know people be like, but you can't fuck it off. It's a charity shield, mate. Just donate the cash. You're getting 125 million quid from the Club World Cup, yeah? Just say to the charities, yo, how much do you normally get from the charity shield? And they'll say 2 million. Right, we'll just take 2 million then. Yeah? In fact, 3 million. We'll give you extra money. Yeah, we just can't play this fucking game, man.
We'll let Arsenal play the charity shield again.
We just let Arsenal play against themselves, man. Yeah, I mean, let them win that competition. Let them play there. We'll give them the money, and then boom. Because that charity shield. By the way, every time we win that fucking charity shield, our season goes to shit. Yeah, I don't know what it is about that trophy, but every time we win that thing, our season's awful, mate. Yeah, we're better off losing that damn thing.
And I know Pep and the club did ask the Premier League if maybe we could miss the first week and make up the game later in the season or something. They asked something. They said but obviously the Premier League don't care, because the Premier League probably don't particularly like this Club World Cup. So they said nah. It's long, bro. It's very long. It's very, very long. And I just can't get over the weekend. I'm not gonna lie, bro. The weekend killed me. That for 2 different reasons.
Let me do a poll in the chat. Do you think City played for a draw? I'm interested to see what people think on this one, because I've seen a lot of people say that they think we did play for a draw. So the polls in the live chat, guys. Yeah, shout out Nobbies for the raid. Yeah, big up for Nobbies for the raid. Yeah, vote on the poll. Don't cost you anything. Just vote on the poll. There's 600 people in the stream right now. Yeah, full send it. Let us know what you think. I don't know. When people was telling me this after the game, I was like, nah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But then, like, I hear what the players are saying. I hear what Pep's saying. I deep the fact that we didn't fucking create anything and attack.
No,
I was like, maybe we did play for a point. Man.
That super chat's a bit mad still.
What?
The super chat.
What super chat?
One's just come in.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see it. Big up Facts. Leo, come see us in a sec, bro. Facts only says, what is this try to get knockout in the group stage BS? First of all, it's a trophy. Second of all, it's technically the biggest comp in the world. Do you want to be world champion or focus on rebuild? Just be English or European champion. Okay, so, Fairs, my response to this would be, if we get knocked out in the group stage, you still get 30 million. Well, first of all, yeah, you're saying it's the biggest club competition in the world. It is financially, yeah, but prestige-wise, some City fans, some football fans around the world are saying they don't give a fuck about this trophy. Some are saying they do.
It's where certain TV channels have turned around and said they don't want it.
Yeah, well, they had to get DAZN to do it, didn't they? There's all dodgy deals. A big dodgy deal about.
It's just one of these things that. All right, cool.
Financially, it's trophy in the world football.
Aren't we currently the? We are currently the world champions, right?
Yeah.
What has that done for us lately? What?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, what you're saying is, we can go fuck the rebuild, fuck winning the Premier League next season, fuck winning the Champions League next season. We want to be able to claim that we're world champions. Well, right now, I am here able to claim I am the world champion. I feel like shit. I'd rather be claiming I'm in a title race. Right? I don't. You might be different, bro. And listen, every trophy, you are right. Every trophy's a trophy. That's why I want to win the FA Cup. So you are right with that. But right now, having that badge on my shirt, yeah, and me being here right now saying I'm the world champion. I remember how Chelsea fans were the season after they won it. It actually is a bit of a cursed trophy, isn't it?
Well, maybe, yeah.
Chelsea won it, dropped off. City win it, dropped off. So I don't know. I hear you, but I think this rebuild right now, we have to remember, is us getting this rebuild right is not about next season. It's probably about the next 3 or 4 seasons. Because if we don't get this rebuild right, we then really start dropping off. Because like we just had the conversation, if we don't get Champions League football next season, then Vert still might come. But if we keep not getting Champions League football, the quality of our signings are going to get worse and worse and worse, like Manchester United.
Correct.
That's exactly where United are now, by getting worse and worse and worse. So.
Yeah, no, I hear it. Like, there's a new poll in the chat. I ended that old poll, yeah. 75% of people said we did play for a draw. The new poll in the chat, do you care about the Club World Cup? Do you care about it? Ignore the finances. Yeah, ignore the money. Yeah, we know the money's important and the money's really obviously big for our rebuild. Yeah, but I'm talking pure footballing basis here. This is the question. On a purely football, emotional connection to this trophy, do you care about it? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the live poll. If you're watching back on replay, give me your thoughts and comments down below. I've already said plenty of times, I don't know how I'm going to feel until the tournament starts. Yeah, because this is a new tournament. Yeah, obviously we played in it before, but this is a rebranded tournament. More teams, more games, blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this tournament until it starts, basically. Because then I can tell you, because I might get there, get onto the first watch along. Yeah, I might be sat down on first watch along against fucking Al Wadad or whatever they're called, and sat there and go, I don't give a fuck about this at all. Or I might sit there and be like, you know what, lads, I'm buzzing for this. I can't wait. And to be fair, I think I'll probably be on the latter, yeah, because when we won the tournament, I remember I did the stream on the second channel, yeah, and we was chilling. We was having the beers. We was having a bit of a laugh. We called it shamelessly Champions of the World stream. You know what I mean? It was pretty good, but I can't tell you until the tournament starts. What I will say is, it's never bad to win a trophy, right? It's never bad to win a trophy, and we'll see. Listen, I kind of hear what Facts Only's saying, yeah? I kind of hear what you're saying. I think that it's going to be a big tournament going forward.
I do.
And you know what'll happen is, Daps, yeah, the clubs will start pushing it on the fans, saying, we're in the fucking World Cup. It's big, it's massive, blah. And obviously the money involved will make the clubs get the fans on it. So financially, yes, we need to win. Emotionally, how much I actually care, I don't really know. I'll probably get gassed when the tournament starts. At the moment, I don't really care too much about it. But when it starts, I probably will be, doing bits. And I do agree with facts only. If FIFA is serious about this tournament, yeah, and obviously they are default tournament, they do seem to be serious about this tournament. Yeah, if they're serious about this tournament, and the Saudis get involved, obviously, because they will get involved soon. And the money goes up and up and up, then, yeah, I can see that, yeah, maybe it will be a bigger tournament than maybe even the Champions League in 10, 20 years.
And don't get me wrong, winning the first one.
Winning the first one, man.
To say you've won the first one. I do hear it. I think at the moment, the one thing we can't be is short-sighted. And so I really don't think this is just about, oh, it's all right. If we don't do the rebuild right this summer, we can do it next summer. No, we can't. We're not, right, the truth is, yeah, we are not like Liverpool and Manchester United, yeah. Liverpool and Manchester United they have one or two bad seasons, things don't drop off. With teams like City and Chelsea, you have a bad season or two, all of a sudden things can drop off. So we have to get back. We can't allow ourselves to get to where Man United are by having repeated bad summers. We need to have a bad. Do you know what? Ultimately, it's one of these things where it is a difficult. This is why we're having a conversation. It's difficult because we don't know what to do. Like we ultimately need to have the perfect summer. We need to be able to get 7-8 players in, right, without spending too much money. We need no injuries in training. We need players to get rested while also playing, and all these things can't happen. So, you know, and the other thing is as well that some of the teams we're playing over there, they're seasoned for this type of tournament. As far as they haven't just played a full season, and it's in a climate that they're way more acclimatized to.
Yeah,
we're going over there unacclimatized. After a full season, knackered, and that's where the South American teams have got a big advantage in this tournament.
Yeah. Nah, facts. And Lorenzo, this is facts as well. We can't pick and choose. The Club World Cup is important. We're shit this season, so it is important. That's another fair point. If we just won the Premier League or whatever, and you're thinking, oh, I don't really give a shit. We just won the Prem. Like, this tournament's a bit dead. Bears, Lorenzo, I agree with you. Like I say, when I'm talking about whether it's important, maybe saying it's important is not the right question. It's about whether I care in terms of an emotional attachment to the trophy, like the Premier League and the FA Cup, because I've watched this my whole life.
Yeah.
This is just a random tournament, that's just been rebranded and new, and it's like, how do I give a shit? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I give a shit. Like, but you are right. You're factually speaking, you are correct. Like, you can't be picking and choosing trophies.
No, we can't be. We're not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I do hear it.
Shout out to Lee as well, who says we need to see a video from Nobbins about Echeverry, man. We do. We do. Yeah. Just quickly as well, right? I've just done a Grok AI question, right, on the finances. And the question that I asked Grok AI was, theoretically, what is the absolute maximum amount of money that can be won in a Champions League? Yeah, so if you win every single game in the Champions League, you get all the win bonuses and then you win the tournament, It says, theoretically, the absolute maximum amount of money that you could win in the Champions League is $168 million. Now, how many games you have to play for that? 10 league games, Let's say that maybe, you would qualify. So 10 league games, or is it 8? No, 8 league games. And then you've got 16, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15. Is that right, chat? 15. So you have to play 15 games for $168 million, And that's if you win every single game. If you don't win every single game, i.e. you lose a couple in the group stage, maybe you draw a couple games, you draw in a couple of games in the knockout rounds, that comes down, So 165 million is the most you can win. You can win $125 million for 7 matches, bro. That's over the course of 3 weeks? You can see why the club are going to take this club competition serious.
They will. Bro, there's no doubt that this is the one thing we do know. They will take it serious. I mean, I think City are probably the club that they seem to be very very involved. And do you know what? Rightly so, because I think City have had enough of UEFA. They've had enough of the Premier League. They want to be in with at least one governing body, don't they? So they seem to be
Yeah.
working very close with FIFA on this. So they are going to take it serious. But yeah.
Yeah,
Why,
no,
sorry,
absolutely.
why is DAPS on BT Sports settings? Cass was downstairs. Sorry, I will sort it out. I'm going to get one of the mics and bring him up here for future.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the Club World Cup chat. Good chat, that. So what you're making? We'll finish off on. We can talk about Palace, or we can talk about some transfer incomings other than Verts. We'll talk about Verts. What do you want to speak about before we wrap up, bro? You want to speak about Palace, or you want to speak about transfers?
Do you
Players
know
that
what,
you
bro?
like.
I don't want to speak about Palace because we're gonna speak about what we want to see, and then we're gonna see a lineup, and the lineup's gonna fucking stink.
All right, then.
Look,
Transfers.
I just hope that Pep learns from that game at the weekend. It's a home game. There's no need for him to go with the old guard. The old guard has proven that the old guard is not one that we want to go with. With signings,
Do you like that Wharton? I'll be watching Wharton on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because we've been, a lot of people talk about Wharton. We might need a homegrown player. Adam Wharton at Palace, midfielder. We need another. I think we need another midfielder.
Yeah, I do.
Wharton, have you seen much of him? What do you rate? Do you rate him or?
Yeah, I think Wharton's one that I think we will get. I think the English quota thing's a massive thing on him. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think Wharton's gonna come in and change us that much though. I hate to say it, but I think we need more. I think we need more than that.
I want to test the water on Camavinga, man.
Yeah. They're the two that I'd love. If we get Cambiasso,
yeah,
right, Verts, Camavinga, because I'm not here saying we need wingers at the moment.
I am.
What?
I don't think
more than midfielders though.
I think we need them equally, bro. If I'm being honest, I think our wingers are bad. Yeah, I don't think our wingers are good at all. I think Savio, Doku, and Grealish right now are not good players. Like for the here and now.
Interesting. Savio as well.
Well, I'm talking here and now. I think Savio in 2-3 years is going to be a baller, but I'm talking for the here and now.
Right, but this is the thing with wingers.
Yeah,
I hear it, but tell me we're getting Rodrigo. I'm here for it all day long. Right.
Yeah.
Bring him. Go and get him right now. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not here saying, well, let's go and take another chance on a winger. Right.
Agreed.
Go and get me.
If you can't go and get me a certified baller like a fucking Kvaratskhelia, or like a fucking Rodrigo, I don't want another project. I'd rather just stick with what we've got. Yeah. So when I say that, I'm talking about those like elite level players.
Yeah, that's exactly what I am thinking. Exactly that, and that's where ultimately, I guess it's kind of similar with the Wharton thing. That with Wharton, I'm like, all right, I wouldn't mind Wharton if we're having a mad transfer window where we're bringing in 7-8 players and Wharton's one of them. Cool, but if Wharton is one of our answers to the problems we have, I think we're going to have problems next season again. I don't think it was fair on Wharton neither. I think Wharton's still a bit inexperienced.
I'd love Camavinga, man.
Camavinga's the one for me. Camavinga. I mean, the one thing you could say with midfielders is, with Rodri back and Gonzalez getting more game time, then our midfield instantly, if we're playing them two, and then whether it be them two and Foden, whether it be them two and if Bernardo, whether it be them two and and Verts will be there. Echeverri, we hope to see Echeverri maybe get more game time. But wingers, bro, I just think wingers is an interesting one. Rodrigo, do you know what? We spoke with Rodrigo before, so there must be some interest in him. But how much are Madrid going to want for him?
I just test the waters. Test the waters. Go to his agent and say, listen,
you want us to spend mad money in the summer, innit?
I want us to be buying world-class talent like we used to do back in the day before we started signing play like Nunes and fucking Kovacic. That's what I hear it.
It's just the biggest problem we have now is how many of them we need.
Well, that's because we've let the squad decline.
Yeah.
That's not my problem. The fucking club should have signed better players instead of spending 55 million on Nunes and 40 million on Phillips.
And the thing is that we have celebrated for the last probably for the last 2 years, we've celebrated being net spend champions, right? And unfortunately, well, that means now
that ends right now. We don't never do that ever again.
Because ultimately, because of it is an L, and it's an L on the club as well. Because of that, all of that money that you thought you'd made, you haven't made, because you're gonna have to spend it now, and you're probably gonna have to spend it with the tax of everyone knowing. Like, if we would have done a bit 2 seasons ago, a bit last season, then we wouldn't have to do much now, right? And we get them at less. Now every single club knows we need it, so they're going to put an extra percentage on top, and now we're going to end up spending more money. And I do think that, but we are in a bad place, because if it's me and you speaking right now, we want Camavinga, we want Rodrigo, we want Wirtz, right? We want Cambiasso. We need 2 goalkeepers. We had this conversation before. Oh, 500 million is not getting you that far.
What have we done to this squad, man? It's crazy, honestly. It is a madness. It's it's crazy. Where are we at with this? There was a chat here. There are no world-class wingers available at the moment. Sign Leroy Sané for free. Would you bring Sané back?
Oh, you know my take on. Well, no, I'm not bringing no one back. No one is coming back. No romance allowed.
No romance allowed.
No romance allowed. Right.
Cold-hearted, yeah.
Someone's going to say, bring. What we're going to do? Bring Leroy Sané back. Bring company in to replace Pep, and bring Cole Palmer as well while we're at it.
On that company hype.
And do you know what? Fuck it. Let's go and get Cancelo as well and bring him back. Shall we get Laporte as well?
Cancelo. Yeah, bring him back in 6.
I wouldn't mind Laporte back, to be fair.
Mahrez. Dzeko.
Get the band. Wait, Pep. If we tell Pep we're getting the band back together, Pep's gonna love it.
You know what was a red flag in the summer is when I was seriously saying get Dzeko back, and I said that seriously.
Bro, the mad thing. You know what the mad thing is with Dzeko? Do you know what Steve said to me? It was either in Paris or it was in. I think it was in Paris, or it might have been Bratislava. One of the two, and it was the first day we got there because it was just me and him going to get food, right? And he goes, if I was the manager, I'd be calling up Balotelli, right?
No.
And saying, because it was when Balotelli didn't have a club, and he said, I'd be calling up Balotelli and saying, yeah, you're not going to start, you're going to be behind Haaland, but
imagine Pep and Balotelli, bro. That's a recipe for disaster. Isn't it? Oh, that's mad. That Balotelli and Pep Guardiola. Nah.
But do you know with Dzeko? You know he's 39 years old now.
Yeah. I know he's 39. He's still backing goals in. You know.
That's what I'm saying. See, I know everyone gasses how old Ronaldo is and what Ronaldo's doing in Saudi. Yeah. Dzeko's still playing it up.
He scored 19 goals and got 7 assists this year, Dzeko.
At 39 years old, and it's not spoke about enough, bro. 39 years old. What crazy, a player! What a player!
He scored 367 goals and 150 assists in his career. He's got 140 caps for Bosnia-Herzegovina and scored 67 goals in that team. 67 goals for Bosnia, mate. You know how mad that is?
Yeah. Wait, on that Nolito comment, if Pep brings Nolito... he was Pep's first signing, wasn't he?
Nolito, no, Gundogan was.
Right, but he was one of Pep's. Imagine if we went and got Nolito. I'm Pep out if we get Nolito, by the way. I'm Pep out.
Imagine if we got I imagine if we got Nolito back now, bro. And use Pep out. No, it's crazy. Let's have a look at some of these chats. Smash these likes up as well, people, man. Come on, 500 people in the building. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. I was meant to do a stream yesterday with Hugh in it last night, but I was steaming, bro, so I couldn't do it. I went pubbing it. The sun was out, and I was like, yo, the sun's out for the first time properly in this fucking country, so I've got to go pubbing it. And I probably had a few too many. So I'll hit up Hugh anyway and see if he's available this week. Get him back on. Shout out to Chicken Wing says, I really don't get the Rodrigo hype. Why are we talking about it when we need goals for our winger? Just because an elite level forward. It don't have to be Rodrigo. It don't have to be Rodrigo. Just get me an elite level winger. Who that is, I don't know. Rodrigo's the one because he just springs to mind. But if you want to get someone else, so long as they're elite, that's cool. But I don't want another project. What's the point in buying another project? You know, I'm happy with the wingers we've got now as projects. I'm happy with Doku for 2-3 years, see what he's about. I'm happy with Savinho for 2-3 years. I'm happy with Bob for 2-3 years. Yeah. But I'm looking for a winger that can come in here and now and deliver me the numbers. Yeah, or just deliver me consistent performance. It's not even necessarily about numbers. Yes, I would like my winger to score goals and create assists. Of course I would. Who wouldn't? It's about consistent performance. Yeah. It's about having, going into a game and not thinking to myself, oh, for fuck's sake, what Doku am I going to get today? Or for fuck's sake, what Savio am I going to get today? That's what it's about. Not us necessarily about the GMA.
Yeah, we never had that with Mahrez. We never had that with Mahrez.
Every time Mahrez played,
Mahrez,
you knew what he was going to get. Do you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to be Rodrigo. Just pick a name up.
But then, do you know what? We went into games. We went into games not knowing what we were going to get out of Sterling.
Yeah, you did to a degree, but at the same time, that team was but that team was also much better than this team.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as bad. Whereas, and this is where I sort of especially Savio, not so much Doku because this is his second season, but when it comes to Savio, this is why I'm a little bit like, I feel like some of the Savio criticism sometimes a little bit harsh here, because yes, his finishing is shit, right? The fact he's only scored 1 goal is proof of that. He needs to improve his finishing. But I do think the criticism on Savio is a little bit early because he's coming to a team. I think he's done okay in a shit side because this side is crap, mate. Yeah, we're 6th in the league, mate. Yeah. We're 6th in the league. This is our poor side. This is the worst City side in 10 years. Yeah, statistically speaking. This is a terrible side. And I think he's done okay. I think Savio's done okay. So I think personally, I think the criticism on Savio is a little harsh. The Doku one maybe is a little bit more valid because it is his second season. We should be seeing a little bit more from him.
But he's been a bit unlucky with injuries and game time. He hasn't had as much game time as Doku. I think
and there's clearly a coaching issue as well when it comes to Savio and the team because we just don't know how to play with Savio.
Yeah, I think with Savio as well, and we have to away from we were having a chat today about Echeverri, which I'll speak on in a second, right? But with Savio, we have to remember this is his first season in the Premier League, right? He's come, and whereas with Mahrez, right? Mahrez's first season at City was not unbelievable, right? But Mahrez was already a seasoned player. He was, how old was Mahrez when he joined City? 25?
Mahrez was, maybe 25, 26, something like that.
25, had already been in England for what, 2 seasons at least?
Mahrez?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he must have done 2. Yeah, I think he did 2 of that. Did we sign him in January? Or did we sign him in the summer?
We signed him in the summer, didn't we?
I think, did we try and sign him in the summer and then got him in January? Or did we try and sign him in January and got him in the summer? We definitely tried to get him in one window and then got him in the next.
But either way, we'd got him right. And he was seasoned. He played in the Premier League, spoke English, had lived in England for a while and was older, right? Savio's 20, man. It's 20. It's his first season in the Premier League. We can't... Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. So I think, and furthermore, Mahrez was joining a Manchester City that was cooking already, right?
Yeah.
Mahrez didn't have, whereas with Savio, I think Savio, he's joined a City side that's like not great, and we can't expect too much of him. I think that's one of the reasons with Echeverri why we can't expect Echeverri to be getting too much game time at the moment. Because of the fact, again, he's literally 19 years old, don't speak English, just come to the country after a full season over there. However, we need to start seeing him on the bench at very least. Because if we're going to see 10s play the way our 10s have been playing recently, then why the hell not?
Yeah, this is why I'm sort of like, just laugh when I hear the argument against Echeverri, because I'm like, if KDB and Foden were slamming it, I hear the argument. I'm like, and Bob's fit and Bob's playing in the, I'm like, yeah, fair. It's like, we're not just going to drop players to get Echeverri in the team. But when Foden and Kevin De Bruyne are just not performing at all,
What's the worst that can happen?
What's the fucking worst that can happen,
Yeah,
man? At
I
least
hear
he can run more than them two because the guy's a pressing magnet. He's a pressing machine. He never stops running around the football pitch. So even if he's shit on the ball, at least he can actually press.
Would you be? But for me, I'm a bit like, yeah, I want to see Echeverry, and for me, he should be on the bench. At this point, he should 100% be on the bench. And in certain games, like, to be fair, that derby at the weekend, bring him on for the last 20. If we're actually trying to win a game and not trying to play for a draw, bring him on for the last 20. I just think at the moment, when people are kind of, there's so much other things wrong with Pep's selection that pinning everything on the Echeverry not being on the bench isn't such a big deal because there's other things that are far worse going on. Far worse.
Yeah, let me have a look at some of these Craig comments. McArthur's contract renewal is already agreed. He'll sign it as soon as he turns 18. May go on a loan agreement, 5-year contract. Lovely stuff. Hugo Viana, as I told this chap, began working full-time at City 2nd of February due to large-scale renewal. Both Hugo Viana and Tiki will attack this market, expecting a minimum of 6 new players. They are allowing Claudio Echeverry to take some time and settle. He's had no break for 18 months. He went to Argentina last summer, then tournament in the winter, so he's played a lot of football, fairs. Exclusive. Pep has already held positive talks with Hugo Viana about creating a good working relationship and the possibility, if rebuild goes well, Pep will extend past his 2 years.
Well, Pep, you better get it right next year, mate.
I know. Hugo Larsson and Cambiasso are most advanced of the potential transfers at the moment, and now heavy work by Viana on the goalkeeper situation and KDB replacement has been taken. City are also happy with Gavadio in the last 2 games at centre-back, which if they sign another full-back in the summer alongside Cambiasso, they won't need a centre-back as they will have 6, and that's the current thought. And that's fair, that's cool, but then you need, for me, if you're now saying Gavadio's a centre-back, you need 2 left-backs and probably 2 right-backs, unless you sign 1 left-back, 1 right-back, plus Cambiasso, because Cambiasso can play left or right. And you've still got a Kanji who can play left or right. You've still got Ake who can play left. So if Gavadio is now a centre-back, cool with that? Yeah? You're not sure?
No, I'm just thinking that, well, one thing I'm worried about, this is not what we need, but, right, think of that Pep slander comment on Nunes on Sunday.
Yeah, that was a madness.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a madness. But also, if you look a bit deeper into what he said, he kind of said that he's quite happy with Nunes as a right back long term.
Maybe the club have been told that they can't get rid of him. Maybe they've been like, we can't sell him.
No, see what I mean? He kind of said, yeah, he's showing good defensive quality. Like, he's actually rating him as a right back and saying he could. I think he said he could have a future as a right back.
Yeah, I think he said something like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with that personally.
I don't agree with that. Bro, I think we're lucky against Man United. I think we're lucky that Garnacho and Dogu didn't connect better because they got in behind him a good few times, just were poor with their delivery.
He's not a right back. He played. Let's give him credit first of all. He did play well against United, I thought, but he's not a right back, man. So if you're gonna do that as a Gavadio centre half, which I'm fine with you doing, you need a left back, you need a right back, and then a Cambiasso on top of that. So then you've got a left back, you've got a right back, and Cambiasso just plays left or right. You know what I mean? Like, and then you've still got your Ake and a Kanji still, so you're chilling. Yeah. What else is he saying? Unfortunately, with 115, there are literally only 6 people who know any info. Karl, Masters chairperson, and 3 other panel members. Judgment of guilt or innocence will be released 24 hours before the public. My understanding would be Huzanov and Diaz would rotate while he settles and he quickly learns English. That will be Huzanov key learning English, as all our centre-backs speak English. Richie is no longer a current target after his new contract. Edison is a target at Atlanta, however, not high up now as they don't need a CDM. Also have Gonzalez, Rodri to return. Nico O'Reilly will play next season.
Oh, is Craig Party Time like plugged into the club?
He knows his shit, yeah. He's not even one of these fake guys. Like, I always say, he's not going to get everything right, but the chat know, man. The people who've been watching the channel a long time know that this guy knows his shit, man. 100%.
Right, okay. Well, the way it's written as well looks pretty certified.
Yeah, he knows his shit, bro. Personally, yes, I like Hugo Larsson. He's a bit of an all-around player, similar to Bernardo when he arrived, but he has a lot more pace. He could be the Gundogan replacement. Interesting. And then he also says this: we may look at a winger later in the window when we know the players who leave. Grealish is key. We may slightly change if we play and we sign fullbacks who can cross, as our wingers will then play inside. He's also put a lot of other stuff. If you guys want to see it, just scroll to the top of the chat. You'll see it, man. But yeah, shout out Part Time as always, man. All right, and big up to you. Big up to Facts Only. Says, sorry to bring this back. Just because you're fully trying to win it doesn't mean you're ignoring the rebuild DAPS. Also, the first 5 UCLs that Real Madrid won were just as irrelevant. But guess what? 70 years later,
70 years later. I do hear it. Look, ideally, I want to win the trophy. I want to have a good tournament. I think with it, it's just. I just remember when Chelsea won the Club World Cup, and they're really bad, right?
Mm.
And they're going, well, we're world champions, and I was almost like laughing at them, going, "What are you going on about?" I mean, to be fair though, this tournament probably will be bigger than the Club World Cup was. I want to win it. It's just, do you know what? I worry long term about this club at the moment. I really do.
I will only worry long term about this club if they get this summer wrong. If they get this summer right, we'll be fine. Promise you, we'll be fine. If we get this summer right, but we have to, as Craig said, we have to attack this window aggressively. We can't be fucking around. Yeah, if we see a player and they want 80 million, and we only want 70 million, pay the 80 million if you think that's the right player. Yeah, go and get this. If we get this summer right, I promise you, next year we'll probably win the league again, and we'll start cooking on gas again. Yeah, but we have to get this summer right. If we don't get this summer right, then long term could be dodgy, mate. Yeah, because I'm telling you now, I think this summer transfer window is going to go off. Yeah, I think Chelsea are going to spend, Liverpool are going to spend, Arsenal are going to spend. I think everyone, Newcastle are going to spend, Villa are going to spend. I think everyone this summer is going to spend dollar. Everyone seems to have sorted the finances out, sorted their FFP out, and everyone's going to go and attack the players. Yeah, thank God we have a striker, mate, because there's only about 4 strikers out there, and every single club in this league needs one. So
that's probably one of the reasons why we went and got Marmoush wrapped up as well.
Yeah, true.
If Marmoush stayed in Germany, the way he was getting those numbers, a lot of Premier League clubs would have been going in.
100%.
And it would have been a lot more money.
100%.
And by the way, Marmoush is another positive from the derby. I thought Marmoush was quite good. I was just going to say as well, that was a telling sign as well on KDB. When we had that free kick, the position of that free kick, in a Manchester derby,
took it. Yeah.
And the fact that KDB allowed Marmoush to take that free kick told me that even KDB knows that foot's not there anymore.
Yeah. Plus, Marmoush is a set piece.
Yeah, he is.
Very good. He needs to get on our corners, man. He's very good on corners.
Yeah. We need to get better at corners. That's something
our corners are shite, man.
We're shit at corners. Awful at corners.
Big up to Ahmad as well. Says if we not get Champions League place, maybe Real goes for Rodri. Nah, bro. Don't need this.
Can't see Rodri going there after the way they treated him on the Ballon d'Or. I think they did us.
But we do need to get that contract signed. We need to get that contract signed soon, man. 100%, bro. But surely not, bro. I don't need
Foden, both. Foden's contract's not that much. And I'm not even saying we have to get the Foden one wrapped up quickly, but it is an interesting one, the Foden one, because if you think we were trying to get Foden to sign a contract, I think probably about 10 months ago. It will be interesting what that contract looks like now compared to what it looked like 10 months ago.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, last season, he was probably going to go on that Haaland money.
Yeah.
And shit like that. Whereas now he's probably going to stick on the same sort of cash, innit? Based off of that. So maybe he's just going to wait it out a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
He can always just extend his contract for a year and then just say, right, we're going to keep you on the same money, extend your contract for a year. And then in a year's time, if you're doing what you're doing last year, and i.e. player of the year, we'll put you on a big cash.
Here's one for you, actually, right? So I said the other day on a show that when Hugo Viana has arrived at the club, right, he's definitely had meetings with Khaldoon, meetings with Tiki, meetings with Pep, and probably asked about, they've probably discussed most players, right? And said, this player, is it time to move him on? Is it not? Now, with Foden, I think that would be an interesting one because we've heard what Khaldoon said on Foden in the past about how important it is that Foden succeeds, right? And he's a Manchester boy. He's one of the poster boys of the club. Do you think Hugo Viana has said, I understand, but if we see another season like this season, and with the fact that his contract runs out in 2027, is Foden unsellable? Or if he has another bad season, is he a player that actually might also be part of this rebuild?
Well, first, I don't think any player is unsellable. Yeah, first of all,
I think recently, I think up until recent times, I don't think the club would ever consider selling Phil Foden.
Yeah, but that's because Foden was playing well.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying now.
Yeah. But, well, simple. Okay, so if Foden has another season next year, like he's had this season, you can't extend his contract and put him on 350k a week. You just can't. You can't do that. If he has another season next year, this is why I think the club will just say to Foden, we're not giving you a new contract yet. I think see how he gets on at the start of next year, and if he starts the season off well, August, September, October, bang, you'll have a new contract by Christmas.
And if he doesn't?
If he doesn't, then I don't know what you do in that situation because...
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think he's one of them ones. People are saying, nah, like, Foden, even if he has another bad season, City would not consider selling him. And I'm like, I don't know. I think a new set of eyes, a sporting director that's probably only had his eyes really on City for the last season or so, would be saying, it's just a conversation, is this kid untouchable? Or...
I think they'd be really wary of selling him, but giving him a new contract because he'll want a pay rise probably, as everyone wants pay rises, isn't it? Everyone wants a pay rise in life.
Yeah, but even the chat saying, I see the chat saying, no shit, if you have a couple of bad seasons, you consider selling him. I don't think you've necessarily seen the way Khaldoon and this club have spoke about Foden, and I remember Khaldoon saying that Foden breaking through and cementing a team in the first position in the first 11 was more important than winning the league. I remember Khaldoon saying that, right? So there is a lot of importance on Foden, and I'm just wondering if how important he is. Because for me, I agree with the comments that if he has 2-3 bad seasons, then the fact that he's a local boy and he's our Phil. It's unfortunate, but now
we can't just keep a player just because they're fucking from Stockport, mate.
Exactly.
Like, so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but bro,
he's in
the
the team.
The club would.
The reason he's in the team and the reason he's paid the big wages is because he's fucking mint. Yeah, not because he's from Stockport. Otherwise, fucking hell, there'd be no foreigners in the team. It'd just be lads from Manchester, innit? You know what I'm saying? So he's got to get back. And I back him too. Yeah, I see people say, "Oh, he's finished, he's washed." I disagree, right? Next season, start the season off. If he starts the season off well, he'll have a new contract by December, guaranteed. Yeah. If he doesn't, then I genuinely fucking don't know what you do.
And by the way, I think we are right to back Foden because I had this conversation with a Chelsea fan the other day who was questioning Foden, and I said, "Hold on," I said, "Let's be real.
Yeah.
Last season, who's your best player?" And he said, "Cole Palmer." I said, "Cool, perfect." I said, "So Cole Palmer is your best player. He's had one good season, right? One good season, because you as a Chelsea fan, you can't tell me about what he did at my club because you don't know, right? He's had one good season. Before that, he was bit part-ish at best at City and was okay, yeah, right? I'm a Cole Palmer fan, but if we're saying Cole Palmer is mint, yeah, and is Chelsea's best player based on last season, then there's no problem with Foden whatsoever. Because on top of last season, he's got multiple good seasons.
And Foden did it with something that mattered. He did it in a league title. Whereas Palmer, and listen, you guys know I glaze Palmer all the time. I think he's got a fucking mint, yeah. I'm disgraced that we sold him. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day, which we've had about 100 times. But Palmer did it in a team that was just cruising. They didn't finish top 4. They just fucking cruised, finished 5th or 6th, whatever, yeah. Whereas Foden did it last year in a team that won the league, and without Foden, we don't win the league. So this is what I'm saying to people who are slagging off Foden. Like, yes, criticise him because he's been shit this year.
It's one bad season.
It's one bad season.
Yeah.
And people ask me now, and I go on these like rival fan channels and that, and I'm speaking to rival fans, and they're asking me about Foden. And some are doing it genuinely. Some are genuinely saying to me, "LB, talk to me, what's going on here?" And some people are just trying to like
out to damn pots.
Exactly, yeah. Some people are just trying to like slag him off and that. And I say, listen, Foden's been shit this year by January. That's the facts. Yeah. And I'm not going to sit here and glaze Foden because he has been shit this year. I'm not going to sit here and say he's been mint when he's not. However, if you then want me to go to the next level and say, "Oh, Foden's always been shit, or he's always been overhyped, or he's always been this, or blah, 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 blah," or say that he's washed and finished, I ain't going to do that.
No. That's even when people use this season to say about last season winning player of the season on a completely different season.
That is the most stupid thing anyone can ever say, though. "Oh, he's been shit this year. How did he win player of the year last year?" Because a different season, mate.
Do you know you know what I had someone say the other day, right? We were talking about Foden last season, and he said, let's be honest, Foden at the start of last season wasn't all that. And I said, no, bro, the Foden last season, at the start of the season, I remember everyone saying, with KDB injured, it's time for Foden to step up. And that is exactly what Foden did, right? You can't ask a player to do something, then when they do that and win you a league, go, well, he wasn't all that. Someone just said, when I said that Cole Palmer was bit part-ish at City, yeah, they said, that's mad. It's crazy. LB, would you agree Cole Palmer's career at Manchester City was bit partish at best?
Palmer?
Yeah.
Of course it was bit partish.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a bit part player.
Mint player. We both saw that he was mint.
How many games did he start for us? About 10. Of course he was a bit part player.
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't have sold him.
No, we shouldn't have. He was great for we could see his qualities, but he was bit partish.
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Why are you saying he wasn't a bit part player?
Well, I presume Jerome was talking about that. I'm sure Jerome said, when I said bit part, he said, you calling him bit part is crazy. But he was bit part.
He was a bit part player. He started about 10 games for us. He come off the bench pretty much every single time. Of course he's a bit part player. That doesn't mean he shouldn't have been. That doesn't mean he shouldn't have been sold.
Oh, yeah, he didn't. I think he thought we were talking about Foden. Now I was talking about Cole Palmer. Right.
Right. Yeah. Nah, big up.
And when Palmer scored goals in finals that Foden has, Palmer scored more goals in finals that Foden has for City, to be fair. Come on, Bo.
Palmer scored more goals in finals than Foden.
He scored in the Super Cup, innit? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Whoa, what are we doing, man? That's crazy. Yeah, address this allegation. King Cole says, so the Grealish cult wants Foden out of the club, but are twerking for Grealish, who has been shit for multiple seasons. This is embarrassing. How DAPS just slanders everybody except his favourite baby Jack.
Okay. I'll slander Jack Grealish, right? 100%. 100% I will slander Jack Grealish, because ultimately the main reason why we don't see Jack Grealish is because of his fucking antics off the pitch, right? And whatever we see in training. But again, when I see Jack Grealish, if I'm talking about Jack Grealish as a footballer, when I see Jack Grealish, I think he offers a lot to this team, right? Oh, whereas Foden this season, and again, you can talk about that this season, because this season, Foden has been bad. But last season when Foden was good, and the season before that when Foden was good, and the season before that when Foden was good, you'd never hear me say anything about Foden at all. Like, I personally think Jack Grealish offers a lot to this club when he plays. My frustration with Jack Grealish is not when he plays, it's when he doesn't play, and the reasons why he doesn't play. Like, honestly, like, LB, in fact, let me ask you, what's your opinion on Jack Grealish when he plays?
Well,
honestly,
last couple of games I thought he's played positive.
Yeah.
I thought he played well. I thought that first 30 minutes against Madrid, he was probably one of our best players on the pitch. A couple of the cup games, I thought it was all right. I know he scored a couple of goals, thought it was okay. I don't think he's played particularly well for about 18 months. But the last couple of matches he's played all right. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
That'd be my balanced opinion.
Do you know what? Itchy Goat got it spot on. Grealish mentality isn't there. Spot on. That, like, to me, mentality is everything, and Grealish's mentality clearly is not there. But do you know what? My biggest frustration this season is the fact that, for whatever reason, and maybe it is Jack's fault, is that Grealish has not allowed himself to be pickable for whatever reason this season in positions that he really could have fucking helped us in. Like he could have. I honestly do think that a fully fit and head in the right place Jack, we wouldn't have lost half as many games during that bad run of form.
Maybe.
I just think his driving with the ball really, really could have helped us. But to say, put that comment up again, the knobhead. Put it up again. I want to break it. Like, who else is he talking about? Because I've criticised, the Grealish cult. King Cole, I bet you King Cole, right, is not English. I bet you, right? And so he's presuming that I will stick up for Grealish.
But you're English.
Yeah, I bet you that's
So
what it is.
you're saying that he's gonna. You're only backing Grealish because Grealish is injured.
Yeah, I believe that seems to be a narrative that people only back Jack Grealish. Personally, I backed Jack Grealish based on the treble season, right? Because I think Jack Grealish was very, very important to us.
But also, you don't want Foden out the club. He says,
I don't want Foden out. Do I want Foden out of the club? I'm backing Foden as well, 100%. I've backed most players this season, to be fair. And what's Jack doing off the pitch? Right.
I think Jack's got to go. I think Jack's got to go in the summer for me, bro.
Jack is doing a lot off the pitch. There's a reason. Look, Pep. It's taken so long for Pep to start playing him again because Pep lost his head with him. He's been turning up while Pep was away getting his back sorted, he turned up to training pissed, right? And that got reported back to Pep. I think in November time, he wasn't available for us, and then he went and played for England, and then I'm not going to say it, I can't say it online, but trust me, there's been reasons that I'm aware of as why Jack has not been available, right? That things have happened. And I think actually, here's some slander for Jack. I think Pep Guardiola has given Jack Grealish more chances than he would give most other people.
I agree. Yeah.
Right? I think Jack has taken the piss a lot of times, right? And Pep has, just because it is Jack, it's okay.
You know what I think the difficulty is, yeah, for fans, including myself, is that, and I think the chat will understand where I'm coming from here. Chat, let me know if you agree with me here. Is the majority of fans, including me, because I'm not ITK, yeah, we don't fully know what's going on behind the scenes. No. Do you get what I'm saying? So we don't fully know what's going on. So, like, we don't know why Grealish is not getting picked. We don't know why Grealish played 37 minutes out of 13 Premier League games. We don't know that because we're not privy to the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. Now, people can say stuff online and people tweet stuff and, like, you know what I mean? They'll say, oh, this has happened and this has happened. But we don't really know. We don't know if that's true or not. So it's like fans, I'm sitting there going, why is this not happening? Well, what's this? Ornstein Bomber. What? Chat.
It's 4 Ornstein Bombers. We need to know what this is right now. It better be on our club as well.
Oh, shit. Oh. Yo, chat. I think we've got a potential serious bomber situation here, guys.
LB, what are we doing?
Mate.
Oh.
What is this? David Ornstein, Morgan Gibbs-White and Florian Wirtz among multiple options for Manchester City will consider to replace Kevin De Bruyne. Man City weren't prioritising transfer targets until director Viana still fully in position, so now can ramp up. Gibbs-White and Florian Wirtz are targets for Manchester City. What are we saying about that? Gibbs-White, you know.
Yeah, I mean, again, listen.
I wouldn't want Gibbs-White on his own. I want Gibbs-White and Wirtz.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's where the plus. Yeah, if that's as long as that plus is not a or, I'm cool, right? Gibbs-White and Florian Wirtz, I'm all for, right? Morgan Gibbs-White or Florian Wirtz, well, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? If we don't get Florian Wirtz because we've decided to prioritise Gibbs-White, I'll be pissed off.
Oh yeah, 100%, man, 100%. I think the way I'm reading this is, do you guys think that if we don't get Wirtz, we're getting Gibbs-White? That's what City are going to do. It's like Wirtz is the main driller. Wirtz is like the guy that we're going for, and if we can't get Wirtz, we'll get Gibbs-White.
Yeah, don't want that.
I want them both.
I want that. I want them both. Yeah, exactly that. And I actually think they could both work in the team as well together.
Yeah, have you seen Gibbs-White's passing numbers this season? They're off the scales.
For real?
Yeah. He's in there.
What about chance creativity though?
Yeah, I'll check now. Premier League most chances created. Let's have a look.
Well, I want to see Viana literally. I want to see Viana on a flight to Germany in the next week.
This is big chances created, yeah? And then we'll do chances created. So he's not on there.
Yeah, he's not on there.
He's not on there.
Yeah, no, he's not on there. Morgan Rogers is not
He's
on
not on
there.
there. There he is,
There he is.
33rd. So he's 33rd in the Premier League for big chances created.
I don't necessarily see him as one of them guys, though. I don't see him as a big chance creator. I see him. I personally, what I would rate with him, I rate his engine.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like what other shit is there?
33rd is not good enough.
Yeah, but if you bring it in with
Forest play. Yeah, if you bring him in. Oh, and also I guess the relevance could be with how Forest play, because Forest are quite happy to sit back and counter and not create too many chances.
Yeah, Gibbs White, those 11th on the assists. So what does that tell me? What does that tell me?
What, Chris Wood's a killer?
Yeah, it tells me Chris Wood, buy Chris Wood, sell Haaland, yeah. What that tells me is, whilst he might not be up there with constant spamming of creation, he has, when he does do it, high quality chances.
And that's what we would also say about Nottingham Forest, that Nottingham Forest, they don't go out smacking teams. They're happy to defend well, hit on the counter, and when they do, be clinical. So 8 chances, 7 assists, mad.
Yeah, where is he?
Yeah, it's all on Chris Wood. Chris Wood's a killer.
How many goals he got this season? There he is, 53rd.
5.
I don't know. Listen, if you buy him with Virks, chill. But if we're buying this guy as the KDB replacement, then Europa League, Kazakhstan sense.
Yeah.
That's the situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically, like that's where we're at, isn't it? Get them both. Get me a right winger. Get me a couple centre halves or set full backs, and get me a goalkeeper. We're cooking on the gas.
The other thing I don't know with Morgan Gibbs, right, is his contract, right? Because if he's still got a few years left on his contract, then Nottingham Forest this summer will try and take us to the cleaners because they won't want to sell him. If they get Nottingham Forest are likely to get Champions League football, right?
2027 it is DAPS contract.
So 2 years after this summer.
Yeah.
It's just I can see that. Look, even with that, with 2 years left, Forest ain't going to let him go for cheap.
No, they're what, 100 mil?
Yeah, both. Right. Let's say I think we keep seeing Florian Wirtz 100 mil. Let's say Florian Wirtz is 140 million, right? And let's say Gibbs White is 100 million. I think both of us are agreeing we're putting an extra 40 on and going and getting Wirtz all day long.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because they will. You're right. With them in the Champions League, they're going to want to get rid of Morgan Gibbs, right?
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. To see someone say we don't buy good players from the Premier League anymore, it's probably true.
The question is about Gibbs White, yeah, is like, forget his fee for a second, yeah, because I don't know how much he's going to cost, right? Lou said he said among multiple options. Wait, he said that?
Yeah, did he?
Why does he say that?
I've just been dropped it as well. I don't really think. Do you know what? What's been.
Oh yeah, he does say that. Fucking hell, that is an important part of the Your shout out, Lou, man. That is an important part of the tweet. Among multiple options, which does suggest that there's more options than just these two players. That's a good part of the tweet. Yeah, big up. He should have bolded that. That is a big part of the tweet that I didn't clock. So they might not be these two. It might be someone else. Facts.
This is what makes me laugh little bit, right? About shout out to Ornstein, who's put the graft in and got it to a point where when he drops any tweet, it's a bumper, right? But actually, what he said there, we knew already, didn't we?
We did already know.
We've just been told that Florian Wirtz, is one of our options. Well, duh.
Yeah, no.
And we're told that Hugo Viana is now officially working. Well, yeah.
Oh my God, guys! I've got breaking news for you. City are interested in Florian Wirtz.
Right. Literally, that's what just happened, right? But when he says it, it's got that little bit more clout. So
yeah. When he says it, then you think, oh, then maybe.
Oh, I've seen all sorts already. I've seen Saliba linked to us. I've seen Pedri linked to us. I've seen Yamal was one I saw yesterday. Yamal.
Yeah. The thing is with this Gibbs White thing is, I'm just reading it here, right? Apparently, they've paid £42 million in total for Gibbs White because it was initially 25 mil, but the add-ons took it to 42 million. Now, unless they put some mad thing in the add-ons to say that they're going to win the league, I would imagine that the amount of games that they played and the fact they qualified for Champions League and the fact he's been selected for England would probably say that he's achieved all those add-ons, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be 42 mil. So they're going to want some profit on that, aren't they? So they're gonna, I don't know, maybe 100 is probably too much, but they're probably going to want at least 65, 70 mil.
Yeah. Well, they're going to
still a bit of
and like I said, if they, which is likely, get Champions League football, 100% they're going to want some good money for him.
My problem with Gibbs White, I like Gibbs White, yeah, but like, is he good enough to take us back to where we need to go? That's the question. That's the question. I think he's a good player. He's a good football player. You don't play for Forest and be third in the league and be one of the best players and get selected for England if you're shit, yeah? The question is, can he come in and take us back to where we need to be, competing for titles? I don't know.
And here's one for you. Last season, we didn't want to spend 100 million on Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah. Right?
Is Morgan Gibbs White better than Bruno Guimaraes?
No, it's not.
No.
I think Bruno G is a world-class football player.
I do.
World-class. I think he walks in to 99% of every single team in the world. Like, maybe barring Madrid when they've got Camavinga and these Donnies, yeah. I think he walks into every team.
Yeah, I think with Bruno as well, like where we're seeing Bruno play at Newcastle and where I think we really could have done with him this season in a kind of 8 role, but being a dog. Yeah, he can do that, right? But I also think you could push him further up the pitch and creativity-wise, his passing's mint as well. So I think Bruno is. I agree with you. I think Bruno's world class, and this will be the problem, right? Remember what I said about how, all right, we haven't spent for 1 or 2 transfer windows, but now we're going to have to spend more. That's a prime example. That last summer we could have got Bruno for 100 million. Now we're talking for a lesser player for the same price. That's our fault. That is our fault. We put ourselves in this position.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, Morgan Gibbs White, there's got to be better options out there than Morgan. And I'm with you, by the way. I wouldn't mind if we got him along with some other players, but he can't be our KDB. We replacing KDB with Morgan Gibbs White. Yeah, I'm done. What is?
Yeah, it would have to be with somebody else, isn't it? It would have to be with somebody else. And then you've got to add the fact in is that if that means then we're bringing in Gibbs White as a rotator, which, you know, what we're saying is we would take Gibbs White, but we want him more as a rotator option. Are we really going to be spending 60 mil, 70 mil, 80 mil on a rotated player? Probably not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But that's where we are.
Yeah. All right, then, boys. Big up to you guys in the chat. Big up to Camaro. Yo, big up to Camaro, man. Good to see you, bro. I would rather have Baena with Wirtz over Morgan Gibbs White. Yeah, I think that what Gibbs White compared to Baena is, I think they play Gibbs White a little bit deeper and allow him to carry it. Whereas Baena, for me, is sort of like a Wirtz, you know what I mean, where you're playing further up the pitch and getting to properly create. But Baena also solves the problem, as if you get rid of Grealish, you can also play left wing.
Well, you know what? I've just had Ty from Never Found message me, yeah. Good eye, and he's talking about Morgan Gibbs White. Good IQ and ball carrier, which they are missing a lot. Homegrown as well for the numbers.
He's homegrown. Good point.
Will cost 60 million plus, though. I think he'll cost more than that. Rather him than Wirtz, 100%, because Morgan Gibbs White is Premier League proven. Bro, he's smoking.
No.
He's smoking.
No, Ty just wants us to fucking sign not good players, isn't it? What are you talking about, bro? You'd rather have Gibbs White over Wirtz.
He's mad.
What's going on, man? That's a crazy one, that. I can't lie. All right, then, boys. There you go. We will probably, like I say, we will be getting bombers soon because we're in April. Remember, we got the Haaland bomber in like March, really. So, you know, anytime now, we're going to start hearing a lot of transfer news. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Hit that notification bell as well, because when I'm going live multiple times a day, you don't always get the notifications. You know what I mean? You got to hit the bell icon, chat, yeah? You know what I mean? It'll pop up on your phone when I go live, and then you decide whether, all I'm going to watch LB or I'm going to get this guy off my fucking screen. So it's up to you. But press the bell icon and then you can decide whether you want to watch the stream or not. Make sure you guys are subscribed as well to we are South Stand and Never a Foul. DAPS's channels, man. Get on that as well. And I will message you to try and reschedule the stream from last night. Obviously, you know what I mean, things happen, you know what I mean, situations developed. But yeah, man, big up to you. Big up to DAPS for jumping on, man. This is going to be a regular show now every Tuesday. I'll be going on their channel on a Friday morning. So the morning shows that DAPS does, I'll be jumping on that about 10, 11 o'clock, something like that. Whatever time.
Yeah. And I'm flying off out to Dubai in an hour. So
no way. So what are we doing the show this Friday live?
Yeah. Taking my laptop with me.
Oh, you're taking your laptop, right?
Over there, so,
yeah. All right, then, man. Big up to you, innit? Watch along. Yeah, I'm going to do watch along tonight. It will be on the second channel, though, people. Yeah, so make sure you are subscribed to the second channel, More LB. The link's in the description. Hit the bell icon on that one as well. And yeah, we're going to have the 2 games on Arsenal versus Real Madrid and Vincent Kompany. Can he get past Inter Milan or at least taking advantage in the first leg without Musiala? So it's going to be tough for him. But we will be watching both of them tonight. I'll probably start about, 7:15, 8, 20 to 8, something like that. So make sure you get on that as well. Shout out DAP, shout out everyone in the chat. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.